Coco Gauff's tile defense begins. WTA Tour Finals draw. Schedule and exciting. Results revealed. The desert sun of Riyadh glowed like molten gold over the shimmering roof of the King Abdullah Sports City with the world's top 8. Tennis warriors gathered for their final battlefield of the season, the 2025 WTA Tour Finals. Yet among them, one name echoed louder than the rest. One champion whose footsteps carried both history and expectation. Coco Gauff, the defending champion, the fire-willed American queen who had turned last. Years showdown into a coronation. Now, as the draw ceremony began, the world paused again. Gauff's title defense was no longer just a storyline. It was a mission, the draw when destinies were written inside a hall dripping with elegance. The player stood like legend, sculpted into reality. Sabalenka with her steely gaze, Raikkonen like an Arctic blade, Zhang Qinwen poised and calm, Swiatek carrying the aura of relentless precision, and the rising storm that was Amanda Anisimova returning to the elite stage with fire in her eyes. And at the center, Coco Gauff smiling confident and radiating the quiet strength of someone who had already walked through fire and refused to burn. The giant screen flickered. Red group Coco Gauff defending. Champion Zhang Qinwen Maria Satriema. Navarro. Purple group Aina Sabalenka IG. Suede Elena Raikkonen Amanda and Isimova. A small gasp ran to the hall. The lineup was brutal. The storylines were explosive. Gauff's road to the final would not be a walk. It would be a war path. But Coco only nodded with a spark in her eyes. The spark of champion who understand that great victories demand great battles. The schedule where every match feels like a final. Over the next 7 days, Riyadh would witness the most intense high-stakes tennis collisions of the season. The schedule itself looked like a script written for maximum drama. Day 1, Gauff versus Navarro. Day 2, Sabalenka versus Swiatek Eternal rivalry. Day 3, Gauff versus Zachary. Day 4, Raikkonen versus Anisimova. Day 5, Gauff versus Young Qinwen. The match everyone circled in red. Day 6 to 7, semifinals. Final where the season's queen would be crowned. The stage was set. The anticipation was electric. Every player had something to prove, but Gauff, she carried the weight of a crown. Day 1, the title defense, begins on the opening night as thousands of fans roared beneath the arena lights. Coco stepped onto the court wearing the confidence of someone who understood her place in the sport's future. Navarro was a tricky opponent, intelligent, determined, and capable of brilliance on her best days. But Coco Gauff was operating on a different frequency. Her movement was like poetry, in motion, sliding, lunging, ripping. Forehand winners with fearless ambition. Her serve, polished and powerful, exploded off a racket like a sonic boom. Navarro fought bravely, pushing rallies deep and testing Gauff's resolve. Yet every time Coco's back touched the wall, she responded with a champion's answer. A blistering backhand down the line. A fearless second serve. A smile that told the world, I'm still the one to beat. Final score, 6-3, 6-2. The queen had arrived. Day 2 to 4. Chaos in the purple group, while Gauff builder foundation quietly, the purple group, erupted into pure cinematic chaos. Swiatek defeated Sabalenka in a tense reset showdown that many called the real semifinal. Rybakina crushed Anisimova, serving bombs that echo through the stadium. Sabalenka roared back the next day, hammering 48 winners in a brutal win over Raikkonen. Anisimova stunned. Swiatek, reminding the world to come back, was one of the most beautiful stories in tennis. The group standings twisted with every match. Every swing felt like destiny shifting. The audience couldn't breathe. The commentators couldn't stop talking. The drama felt almost scripted, but all the while, Coco Gauff watched, calmly, studying every movement, every weakness, every path that might eventually lead to her final. Because she knew one thing: champions don't panic, they prepare. Day 3 golf versus Zachary, the Tessa Hart. Zachary, known for her intensity, entered the court like a warrior ready for battle. She came at golf with heavy top spin, explosive footwork, and fearless aggression. For the first time in the tournament, Coco found herself pushed into long, grueling rallies. Zachary broke early. The crowd went wild. Whispers began. Was this the upset? But Coco didn't flinch. She lifted her level, not with power, but with clarity. Precision returns. Impossibly deep defense. Lightning fast transitions. She adapted, reshaped the match, and slowly took away Zachary's oxygen. What made champions different wasn't the highlight shots. It was the ability to shift. Momentum like turning a key. Golf wins 4-6, 6-3, 6-2. A comeback forge in fire. Day 5, the clash the world wanted. Gauff versus Young Chinwin. This was the headline. This was the match the entire tennis universe circled. Zhang Qinwen, the rising titan, the powerful force of the next generation, the woman whose 2025 season had been nothing short of spectacular. Her forehand was thunder. Her serve was a hammer. Her confidence was sky high. For the first time all tournament, Coco walked onto the court as the one being hunted. The match exploded instantly. Young firing 190 kilometers per hour aces, go defending like a superhero. Baseline duels that made the crowd gasp, winners that shook the stadium. Each point felt like a movie scene. At 5-5 in the first set, Young unleashed a forehand so fast the camera nearly missed it. But Coco fully stretched, whipped back across court. Passing shot that painted a line. The stadium erupted. Jing stared in disbelief. Coco simply exhaled. Moments make champions. This was one of them. The final showdown. The moment destiny arrived under the glittering Riyadh night. The arena felt like a cathedral, built for champions. Standing across the net was a familiar warrior, Orion Sabalenka, the powerhouse who fought her way back from early group defeat to reach the final with fire in her veins. The world held its breath. This wasn't just tennis. This was a collision of wills. The final unfolded like a Hollywood epic. Fierce rallies, explosive winners, epic momentum swings. Sabalenka's power met her aggression, met Coco's tactical brilliance. They split the first 2 sets. Fans were screaming. Commentators were yelling. History was trembling. And then in the final set, something changed. Coco Gauff, calm, composed, unbreakable, found her highest gear. She moved like wind. She struck like lightning. She defended like a wall. She attacked like destiny itself guided her arm. At match point, she unleashed a forehand down the line that clipped the edge of the world. Sabalenka didn't move. The crowd erupted. Coco fell to her knees. She had defended her WTA Finals crown. Back-to-back champion. A new dynasty. Legacy begins again. When Coco Gauff lifted the purple-silver trophy, its reflection shimmered against her tears. She wasn't just a champion anymore. She was a symbol of a new generation, rising, of unbreakable resilience, of a future where she wasn't chasing greatness. She was defining it. The WTA Finals had begun with excitement, drama, and uncertainty. It ended with a truth. The tennis world could no longer deny. Coco Gauff was not simply defending a title. She was building an empire. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share.